Yeah, so I'm in Winter Haven, Central Florida. This is my coconut. I love growing stuff that people say can't grow over here. So I just took a bunch of air layers, like 10 or so air layers off this. Hey everyone, my name's Josh. We're over here in Winter Haven, Central Florida, Zone 9B, kind of 10A, because we're on a ridge over here and we're surrounded by lakes. So I kind of get away with some things that other people can't do in Polk County or Central Florida. I have some Longan varieties over here. I have 4 varieties all together. I have Kahala, Diamond River, Dagelman, and then Buick. I like Longans. They got me into this, and I mean, this is an air layered tree, and it's pretty funny. I mean, this tree is tiny, and I mean, it's pretty loaded, you know? I'm not worried about cutting fruit off of any of my trees that are small, because I have so many trees, it's not gonna affect any harvest I get in the future. Yeah, so I have some jackfruit seedlings over here, where we had that really cold year. I'm not sure how cold it got right here, because I really don't have like a weather gauge or anything, but my front yard did not frost, and I have like big oaks, so I mean, I'm sure that made a difference. These trees are probably 3 years, coming up on 3 years.
And they haven't been touched by cold since you planted
No,
them?
they've never been damaged.
Cool.
Yeah, I think when they were young, they actually, like, I kind of had spider mites get on them, but I think as the tree gets older, you get more beneficials that are living with the spider mites, and then they just go away eventually. So yeah, I have 2 jackfruit seedlings, and yeah, pretty much what Taylor told me was like, you know, this is one of the plants that you can plant from seed and still get fruit like really quick. Like he said, I mean, yeah, you could get a grafted variety. He was kind of telling me that those actually might take longer than the seedlings. I just have an ice cream bean in between these. And yeah, I mean, people will be like, oh man, your trees are planted so close together. Yeah, they're planted close together. I also have pruners and a saw, so it's not a big deal. I'm not afraid to come out here and chop my trees. That's actually my goal. I plan to keep these relatively small, but I don't mind if this grows in like a forest. I kind of want that for production. You don't want things to be too crowded, but at the same time, that offers like more cold protection too. So yeah, I have a lot of plants in my yard. These are like, most of these plants are my stock plants, because my dream is to have my own nursery where I pretty much propagate everything myself. So a lot of these plants will just be stock plants for me in the future, especially when I get more land and stuff like that. I'm not gonna sell this property. So yeah, I have like 20 mangoes in the ground, but I probably have like 30 varieties because I've grafted some onto these. This one's a Kesar mango and then a cotton candy grape. Kesar is like one of my favorite mangoes. It's Indian mango. I love Indian mangoes. It's just so good, you know. I have a fruit punch right here. More mangoes. I have a Brogden Avacado right there. That's good varieties, kind of like early season purple skin one. Everyone knows about it. So this is my Diamond River Longan. It's kind of a funky grower for a Longan. It branches a lot, and it has just really thin branches compared to other Longans. So that's definitely a really easy way to tell this one. That's a seedling sugar apple someone gave to me 3 years ago. So it was like a baby 3 years ago, and this is the first year it's got some fruit on it. Honestly, I just don't really have the time. I have enough stuff going on where I don't really have the time to come out here and hand pollinate these for more fruit. So I'm fine with whatever I get. So the male and female flowers like mature at different times. Like the flowers have both male and female parts, but it's kind of weird for this plant because the male part matures later than the female part, like the pollen or whatever. But they require a special pollinator too. It's a small beetle that does most of your pollinating. So some people say like you can throw rotten fruit under here and attract that beetle. This is my coconut cream, my funky grower. Everyone, it's true, this thing just grows really weird. Like I've had to stake this up because this branch would have been all twisted sideways on the ground. So as it matures, it should stay in that position. This is Sweetheart Lychee. It looks so hacked right now because I've been air layering these things. I've been propagating them. So I just took a bunch of air layers, like 10 or so air layers off this. I'm not gonna get a whole lot of lychees off it, you know? But I did try this lychee last year, the Sweetheart variety, and it's the best lychee I've had by far. I'm a mango freak, and this was just as good as mangoes to me. This is a wax Jambu, and yeah, like I had a lot of people tell me they're really surprised that, whoa, it's growing over here. I mean, I didn't really know that was that surprising, because there's a Vietnamese guy who lives like a mile away from me, and this guy, like, I wish he could speak English or was online or something, because his yard is just epic, you know? So yeah, this is the green one. I'm honestly thinking about ripping it out. I kind of had it here to propagate it, but none of the fruits tasted good, and they all had bugs in it. So like, that's not really the kind of stuff I want to keep around or even really sell to customers in the future. I mean, yeah, I'm sure people want it, but I like stuff that tastes good. This is the basically the only raspberry we can grow in Florida, the Mysore Raspberry. I haven't gotten any raspberries off it yet, but it hasn't been here for that long. I mean, it really lives up to its name. Like, that thing is brutal. And then, yeah, so I'm in Winter Haven, Central Florida. This is my coconut. I love growing stuff that people say can't grow over here. And especially, it's like pretty bizarre. Like, I mean, people in South Florida that grow tropical fruits, it's almost like they've never driven in Central Florida or like seen this stuff that we grow around here. But I've had people be like, what, you grow mangoes over there? And like, mangoes grow fine over here. There's very large mango trees all around Winter Haven, like 50 plus years old. I know of some of them too. I know an old Hayden tree and Old Glen. And also half a mile away, somebody has this is a Dwarf Namwah coconut. They have the same type, and I mean, they probably have like 20 coconuts on that tree, like just right down the road. Another mango right here is Edward. This is a Blackberry Jam Fruit, so that's in the coffee family, but I'm excited to try some of the fruits on that. Haven't tried it yet. There's so many species in Florida that they say full sun or whatever, but they do better in the shade. In terms of things that I would only plant in the shade now in the future, would be like things like bananas. I've heard people say, oh, they don't produce well in the shade, or the flavor's not really there, but I mean, bananas aren't mangoes. Bananas ripen from starch breaking down into sugar, so you're not like losing any complexity. A banana's a banana, you know? But also, it's just so hot in Florida that they don't get stressed out, because basically plants in Florida during the summer will grow faster and better under a shade cloth, because once it gets so hot, the plant actually becomes less efficient at photosynthesizing. This is a cherry of the Rio Grande. So these are some Eugenias. Patomba, that's another Eugenia right there. I have my Achacha, that's another shade lover too. Those things will they look pathetic in full sun, especially when they're young. I don't know about a full mature specimen, but I mean, I imagine that they still like the shade either way. And then all my Starfruit varieties are under here. I have 4 different types. Everyone talks about how Starfruit does in the shade. Yeah, Starfruit has to go in the shade. I mean, if you don't, you can plant it out in full sun, but the trees look pretty bad that are planted in full sun. They tend to not grow that tall, and they're like really just they don't like a lot of wind and then being in sun. So definitely the shade. And another reason why I like all this stuff in the shade is I don't have to worry about watering as much. Like, I have this area mulched down pretty thick, and then I have this oak tree right here. So if I don't have to water and take care of plants, and like the rain and all that stuff can do that for me, then that's what I want to do. Because I live in the city, I don't have a well yet, and water is too expensive over here. And then, I mean, it has all the calcium and extra chemicals from the city in it. But yeah, so I've slowly moved my bananas over here. Here's ice cream banana right here, Dwarf Namwah. So it's a really good banana. And yeah, we're kind of just getting loaded on bananas right now. People who grow bananas know what it's like when you harvest bananas. You can't really eat them all, so I give them away. This is supposedly a dwarf red, but I'm not seeing it. But I mean, banana varieties get mixed up so common in the nursery trade. And then that's Viente Cajol, that banana rack over here. And then, yeah, we're just getting loaded with bananas right now. They all like flowered at the same time. And then we have our dwarf Cavendish right here. And these are all like full shade situations. We get freezes here in Central Florida. Can really hit back your banana crops, you know, like you don't want them to flower in the wintertime. It's not ideal, because if they do lose their leaves or whatever, for a banana to fruit and the fruit get to maturity, you really only need one leaf on a banana. You can have half a leaf. So I had a banana that got hit hard by the cold. It flowered in the wintertime, had half of one leaf, and that leaf basically produced a full rack of bananas. Look at this one right here. I abuse this, you know. This is a dwarf Cavendish. I just come by and whack the leaves off so I don't have to run into them as I'm walking in my backyard. So this has one leaf on it, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, and it's flowering right now. Those bananas will definitely go to maturity, no issue. I just felt like that was something cool I witnessed or saw this year. I really can't remember what that banana is. I think it was mislabeled, but it looks like a Cavendish because the bananas are curved on it. This is my greenhouse. But yeah, I just have some lychees and longans in here. I'm gonna have a website and stuff definitely within a couple months. We've had our nursery license for a few years, and I kind of made it my goal to propagate and do everything on my own because, one, I'm just a plant freak, so I like doing this stuff. I like a challenge. And then also, there's just really not many people propagating stuff on their own, which is not a big deal, you know? You definitely have to buy in plants, but like, I don't know, I want to be the guy who's making my own stuff and not relying on other wholesalers, to be honest. So in my backyard, this is where I have most of my mangoes. And then these are just a bunch of plants I'm growing out, but I have like, you know, jaboticaba stuff. I have lemon drop mangosteen. Growing out a ton of mango seedlings because I'm just going to do a lot of grafting this year, hopefully in the fall. But I'll wait till the spring if I have to, if they're not ready. I'm building a shade house out here, and I'm gonna replace this. So I'm kind of moving stuff around. I had to move this whole table of plants and all this crap out of here when I build the shade house. But yeah, I'm kind of you need a shade house in Florida. I need more space, so. But yeah, this is my Patanga tube, actually. I got lucky. I hit the jackpot on this one. Because some people get one and it won't fruit. Maybe it's a cross-pollination issue, or maybe there's a situation with like the environment the plant's in, like it's not favorable. But I mean, I have a buddy, his has never produced fruit, and I just got lucky. I don't have another pollinator, and this one is just like loaded with fruit, like especially in the springtime and more like the fall time. Right now it's kind of slowing down, but I like Patanga too, but it's pretty cool fruit. Yeah, more longans back here, and then this are just more. I got some air-layered lychees and longans, and just more rootstock that I'm growing out for other things like starfruits and stuff. White sapote too. So yeah, this is my Valencia Pride, and I basically this thing just got hit hard, like by me, on purpose, because just trying to keep my trees small, so you can't be a wimp when you're pardon me, you can't be a wimp when you're cutting your trees. You can't be scared. You just got to do it. They'll grow back. It's just about doing it at the right time of year, because you can't do it too late. You want to have enough time for the plant to like grow, and then the growth get woody, you know, so it's more mature.
So would you say this is early spring? You want to take that off?
Man, it really depends. Early spring would be good. Like, let's just say if you didn't get fruit or something, but I had fruit. So like, I just cut this off, and yeah, I have some fruit still in here, but everything is like ripening any day now. Because I mean, normally you would want to keep everything, but I'm not worried about it. I wanted to get it cut a little bit sooner so it had a little bit more time before winter. And yeah, it's really about manipulating your plants. I mean, you can get so in depth with all of that stuff, you know, and just having more lateral branches versus vertical branches, which vertical branches tend to want to grow more vegetatively, you know. This is my Sabra. This one is like Man, this thing's, I think it's done pretty well. It's probably been in the ground for like, this hasn't been in the ground for like 3 years. It was from a 3-gallon, so it wasn't a big plant. But yeah, I've just really like pruned the interior out, got rid of all that stuff. So, I mean, basically I'm kind of just like selecting larger branches to keep, you know. I feel like that's gonna help my Jambu fruit faster. And then, yeah, when you have all these tiny little twiggy branches inside that aren't really getting great light, like, I don't know, it's an experiment. It's all an experiment. This is my mislabeled world best mulberry. It's probably Shangri-La. We have Jamaica cherries up there. So yeah, we can't plant anything right here because there's like a bunker right here, Cold War era bunker, when people thought, you know, nukes were gonna hit or something. So I just decided to put some Jamaican cherries up there. There's like no soil up there, but they're so hardy that they can just handle it, you know. This is Lancettia, but I'm kind of top working this to sweet tart. So yeah, I kind of cut this whole thing back to get some more branches, but yeah, I'm just gonna sweet tart it up, go with Zill varieties because you can't go wrong with those. Got more bananas back here. This is my Kwai Muck tree right here. This is a Jackfruit relative. And I just hacked this thing back hard because, like I said, I'm trying to keep these things reasonable size. I'm not scared to cut my plants. I have pruners, I have a saw. I'll do it. This is my Carrie tree right here. Carrie's delicious. Kind of like Indian flavored mangoes. This was a Cogs Hall right here. And I got Sugarloaf on here and I got Julie on here, but I'm like kind of gonna top work a little bit more of the Cogs Hall. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of it. Kind of had some funky flavors when it got too ripe. This is Buttercream Mango right here. Lemon Meringue. Put a couple more varieties on here, like Orange Essence and stuff. It's my M4. Man, this mango, like, it's too small and it set too many fruit, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave them on there. I don't really care because I'll get more mangoes. But it actually set so many fruit to where the fruits were just not even growing. So if I could have gone back in time, it set like 20 fruits. I probably would have took like 10 off at least, and then I would have had good fruit, but kind of messed that one up. But you live and you learn. This is my orange sherbet. This is a beast right here. Orange sherbet is the fastest growing mango. I know like Valencia Pride is like maybe used to have that title, but man, this thing is insane. I just cut this back too. And I've had this tree in the ground for like 2.5 years. And I've pruned it like so many times you wouldn't believe me. It would probably be maybe 15, 20 feet high right now. This is Glen. Glen's like probably one of the most reliable mangoes you're getting in Florida. Very disease resistant too. It's just the kind of mild, peachy flavored classic mango. And this is my LSU purple fig. I don't have this in the ground with any special way to stop the nematodes or whatever, but I mean, it's a healthy tree, but at this time of the year, we've had a lot of rain, so the rust just keeps getting worse and worse, but that happens everywhere in Florida. So I mean, this is just a seasonal thing. All the leaves on a fig in Florida are gonna get this rust. It's gonna get worse throughout the rainy season, and then it'll be fine next year in the spring. And this is my little rainwater setup. It's very simple, but it gets the job done. Like, we had a ton of rain the other day. I was so happy. I came out here, it was like filled up to here, you know. And rainwater is obviously, another thing too, all my plants are on drip irrigation. So like I could just set that up to my rainwater and just, it'll go off gravity. And yeah, like with this many trees too, you gotta have some kind of irrigation, because it gets dry. Florida's dry, like, you know, compared to some other tropical places, like, and especially where I live in Florida. Winter Haven is like cursed. It's just, for some reason, the rain doesn't want to fall here. It'll pour in Lakeland and it won't over here. So yeah, I'm glad I got this set up. All right, so these are some air layers I did on my Sweetheart lychee. So lychees, longans, there's other species too. Like, this is the way you propagate them. You don't graft them because the bark's normally really thin. And for grafting, you gotta match up bark so it will grow together. But basically, it's just a way to make a plant root while it's still connected to the tree. You just strip some bark off. You make like probably like 1.5 to 2 inches, you know, really separate it. Make sure all the cambium is off the wood so that they don't connect again. And then you can just use like a media. I've used sphagnum moss right here. And then you basically just put that around it, wrap it around it. You can, this is how I do my air layers. They sell things for air layers, but you can do whatever you want as long as you wrap something around it. And you can use different media too besides sphagnum. So then you put this on there and then put aluminum foil over it so light doesn't get inside. It keeps it cooler, and you know, roots don't grow in the light, so obviously there's that. Yeah, and then it normally takes about maybe 6 to 8 weeks before you got roots in that, and you can transplant them. Yeah, so people don't graft these, and this is how they're done in Florida. And they get strong root systems. Obviously, people graft for a taproot. I guess lychees and longans, doesn't matter, but this is the way to propagate them anyways. And then you're gonna get these air layered ones are gonna produce fruit in 3 to 5 years, you know, and so you don't have to wait forever, and then you get like a great tasting lychee, which you already know what it tastes like. But that's about it.